8.3 to go. It's still very cagey. And look at Quintana and Contador. Neither one wants to help the other. And at the moment, they could well stare each other into the abyss of failure if they don't get themselves together. They could duke it out if they both went for it. But at the moment, they are not. And UAE Abu Dhabi and Rui Costa is here. Louis Meintjes likewise with his rather incongruous elbows stuck out. 8.1 to go. We'll be at the steepest part of this climb in about 4 kilometres time.
Yeah, 8 kilometres to go now, and it's kind of steady gradients until the about 3 kilometres to go mark, but it's a telltale sign. Quintana wanted to try and get behind Contador. Contador was having nothing of it, and the two of them are just looking at each other.
There we are. That's about as polite as he gets in a situation like that. I think they may well leave him alone now. 7.5 to go then. These are magnificent mountains. When you come up here, it's kind of rarefied, really, because the view is spectacular on a clear day. It
can't afford to let anybody go. Looks like Fernandez for Movistar is in this small split. Rui Costa is definitely there, but this is Quintana and Contador just playing games, looking at each other and not willing to help each other at all.
Well, there are others that may well just take a bite out of it, and you've seen that Bardet is looking lively. Tom Dumoulin as well may well do this on his own. 6.8 kilometres to go. It's going to come down to a lack of teammates by the end. Not quite at the steepest part of the climb, but it's a proper grind, this. And when you get the humidity that's a common feature in this part of the world, and it's reasonably humid today, to be honest, with a blanket of cloud over us, then it's something that is hard to kind of physically master. There is Romain Bardet looking a little bit lacking at the moment, and when we get there with that 11% incline, it's going to be a tough one. Senni's up here as a good guide for BMC out front, as you can see. A lot of looks over shoulders. Louis Meintjes has dropped off the back, but still Rui Costa, who's on great form, may well have something, both he and Ulissi, for the home team, UAE Abu Dhabi. We'll see. It's Senni that's up the road at the moment with Da Costa and indeed Rui Costa there so as teammates, looking very, very good. Rui Costa part of the push out front with 6.4 to go. Now, is anybody else going to be minded to try and wind these guys in? The winner's going to come from this group we're looking at right now.
Yeah, this group is sitting and waiting, but a bold move from Rui Costa.
Quintana lights it up, and guess who goes with him? They can't help themselves. Quintana versus Contador. I think it might be them for the final curve. It gets a little bit technical. In fact, there's some respite at the top of this mountain. We go into a little bowl and then kick up yet again. Nibali as well. What great names we have at the moment. Duking it out. 6 to go, and it looks like everyone else has been distanced. What can Alaphilippe? I thought he looked so fresh a few moments ago. Tom Dumoulin looking as if something's missing. Kruijswijk trying to get over as well, and in fact, as he does so, he guides over help for Quintana for the final push here. This is fascinating.
Well, Rui Costa for UAE, one of the favourites for today's stage, just has to push on. He's got
from Rui Costa to everybody else. Now, we've seen this, and we've also seen it succeed, but he's got Zakharin on his case, and he's just tapping it into the void at the moment. In fact, he looks the most committed. Senni's just on the drifts, but Rui Costa looks very handy. We knew he was on form after Oman. Well, Senni at the moment out there with Zakharin with Rui Costa, and looking very handy. Zakharin, he's one of those, we mentioned him earlier, did a great Romandy, of course, 2 years ago. 27 seconds, that's a sizable margin when you've got this sort of talent up front. He's hit form at a spectacular time, the Portuguese, Rui Costa. Has a look at Zakharin, and they're sharing the duties at the moment.
To make an effort, he has to kind of forget about Contador. Contador is just using that experience, just sitting there. Well, it's up to you. You're the favourite of this race. It's entirely up to you.
Meanwhile, it's between these two, Zakharin and Rui Costa, but Dumoulin's closing with 13 seconds now, but I think it's all too late with 1900 metres to go. I think Dumoulin is going to wonder whether he shouldn't have gone a little bit earlier. So many big names have been caught out by waiting and watching Quintana and Contador. We said there could be a surprise today, and I think we're going to get it, Brian.
Yeah, for me, Rui Costa is the fastest in the sprints. If they work together and don't mess about, they should be battling it out for the stage winning GC. But unfortunately for the favourite in this race, Quintana looks as if he's thrown it away. Well, Trek Segafredo, I've got Mollema in front.
Oh, he's looking for his teammate, latches on and goes for it. That was the most telegraphed move that you could possibly want. But over a minute down, it's only going to be positional play for them. Zakharin takes the front right now. Now, it does twist at the end, and it can get nasty on the barriers if you're trying to go round a man. Here we are. So Costa versus Zakharin. There's the pair of them. 8 seconds now back to Tom Dumoulin as he continues to close down. 7 seconds only. They don't know he's there. Maybe they're being told on the radio, but I'm not sure that their teams are listening to us. It's within sight. Kilometre to go. Tom Dumoulin could mug the pair of them here.
Yeah, but Rui Costa and Zakharin are thinking a little bit of the finish now. Tom Dumoulin's giving a 100% effort to try and come back to them. I don't think he's going to have enough. Rui Costa just looking around. He is the fastest of the riders in the front. Mollema trying his hardest to come back as well, so everybody's 100%, but I think Rui Costa is just saving that little bit to make sure he gets the stage and gets that red jersey.
Definitely Zakharin it is that's been tempted to go first. It was down to 6 seconds. He was the man that looked back as well, saw that Dumoulin was closing, and it's back out to 9 seconds. Dumoulin's done for, I'm afraid, with 700 metres to go. Zakharin's grinding it at the moment. Rui Costa's got to find something and tries to get on his back wheel. If they start to zigzag, Tom Dumoulin can still come back. Just ask Chris Froome, he's seen him do that in the past as well. Never underestimate Tom Dumoulin and his credentials at the very last as we look back to the big names, but they're going to be a minute down, I'm afraid. That's Mollema at 21 seconds. They're a minute and 2 down. I'm afraid that Dumoulin has finally accepted his fate as they come to this little section. They will now go into a little bowl and then pick up a bit of bangle-dangle here. Not very aero at all, but from Zakharin. Costa staying where he needs to be on his back wheel at the moment. Here's the barriers that we're worried about. Dangles a leg, it looks like, as he just eases, lets the bike freewheel, puts something back into his legs. This is going to be a fascinating one. They're running out of meters before the very last, and here goes Rui Costa around the outside. I'm afraid Zakharin, it's not going to be so sweet for him. Here it is. Rui Costa buries himself, does it for the home team, unless Zakharin can get back at him at the very, very last. Final little turn that spelt disaster for Mount Powell's in the past. Not going to be disaster this time by. It's going to be glory for UAE Abu Dhabi as he crosses the line, takes it in fine style. Rui Costa turns a runner-up in Oman into victory here, and with such a margin, it could well be the title. Tom Dumoulin comes across the line. Rui Costa takes it ahead of Zakharin. Tom Dumoulin there, and everybody else. Well, we'll get confirmation quickly, I'm sure, of this result. No doubt about our winner. Fine win as well, Brian.
I tell you what, if it wasn't for Zakharin and joining them, others would have come across, because Zakharin actually helped Rui Costa take this race lead and take that win there. He was strong in the end. Tom Dumoulin couldn't come across. Bauke Mollema couldn't come across. Bauke Mollema has already won a race this year in Argentina, but this is a dream start. You couldn't ask anything better. Rui Costa showing some good form of late at the start of the season, and to come here, their home race, and I'm going to say that they've got the win now. It's because I can't see anything bar a crash or an incident taken away from Rui Costa, but to the biggest race in this part of the world, to take the win here and to take the jersey into tomorrow's stage, it's just a dream for that team.
We look forward to tomorrow. We're at the Yas Marina Formula One circuit, don't forget. It'll be about the sprinters tomorrow. A chance for Mark Cavendish to take a second stage in this race, where he is, of course, the ambassador for the Tour. He'll be looking. This is how it stacks up. Rui Costa takes it ahead of Ilnur Zakharin. Tom Dumoulin in third place, 10 seconds adrift. Bauke Mollema, Julian Alaphilippe rounding out the top 5. And then Aru, Micah, and the rest. And here's our winner. Well, thanks for your company today. What a dramatic finale it turned out to be. You had to be brave, as we said. And that man did it for the home nation, essentially. The United Arab Emirates, the Abu Dhabi team, finding the help of a Portuguese here. Rui Costa doing a sensational job. He'll be riding back down the mountain and climbing into a hot tub, you might think. Who knows? That's how we stand overall. Rui Costa leads by a margin of 4 seconds over Ilnur Zakarin. It might get lively with Zakarin trying to peel off and take some intermediate sprint seconds bonuses tomorrow. Who knows? There'll be plenty of others would like those too, don't forget, though. Tom Dumoulin sits in third place, but it looks like Da Costa's race to lose, and we don't think he will. Simple as.
Per tutti questi lavori che ho fatto fino adesso.
Oh, well, I just want to thank my entire team for the work they did, particularly on the final day. I've got a great, strong team here, and it's just an amazing result, magnificent for us, for everybody involved. My family are here as well, and everybody, and my team feels like my family, to be honest. And I dedicate my victory to them.
So it was tough out there. It's a complicated course, and it was raining, of course, as well. But now you're very relieved to have brought this jersey home, and you'd like to thank your sponsors and your team backers for this fantastic victory. What's next for you, Rui? I prossimi obiettivi in questa stagione che inizia molto bene?
Dopo adesso vado in Tirreno Adriatico, dopo sarà un mese di lavoro.
Well, I won't bother translating, but you know that Tirreno Adriatico is the next target for them, but I'll let Daniel do the full translation for you.
So first you're going to Tirreno Adriatico, then you're going to do a month of work to prepare for the Giro d'Italia, and you're also doing the classics in the Ardennes. Grazie, Rui. Thank you, Rui.
And our congratulations to him as well. Confirmation of how it stands. This man won by a margin of 4 seconds. Confirmation of how it all stacked up, and basically it was the finish up the climb yesterday. One movement today, Julian Alaphilippe, who moves up to 5th place overall.